My name is Asia Sampson, and today on Baptism Overland, part 2 of my Lightforce conversion, and we are installing the ROK20 work lights on my roof rack. Hold on one second. Who says you can't use camping equipment when you're not camping? This is not a Zero Breeze review video. We've done that already. I'm just really happy that it's here because it is coming in really clutch right now. Like, it's cooling and saving this video because it is hot in here. No, the point of this video, the Lightforce ROK20's. These are just real compact units to give out a ton of light. So it's going to be perfect to put on the roof rack and give us scene lighting, especially around camp when we're preparing food or washing the dishes or just need overall lighting. This will come in really handy. In about a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing the Florida Adventure Trail. And during that trip, I know that we're going to be doing a lot of night trailing. Right now, I have the Baja S2s on my roof. I have one on each side and they're great. Like I said, I've loved Baja design lights as well, but I'm converting everything to Lightforce and now I'll be able to put 2 lights on each side. So let me open these up, show them to you and give you the specs. So there you go. Light is not blue, that's just the film. Oh, the satisfaction of that is always the best, ain't it? I really appreciate the fact that Lightforce covers their lenses with some sort of protection, because every time I buy lights, like, the lenses are never protected. Yeah, they put them in like styrofoam kind of stuff to protect it, but the lens is never covered, and I'm just glad that they take the extra step to give you that little bit of a cover, because once you peel it off, I mean, you can see that you're going to get really, really nice glass. I mean, if you look at this, it already looks bright and it's not even turned on yet. At the top, you have your logo, and they did the same thing with this logo that they did with the ROK20's, which is they have that little bit of their logo going into the glass itself. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's like right there. It's just that little detail, you know, like anybody else would have just put their logo up here. But it tells you that Lightforce thought about that extra step of just having their logo kind of bleed into the light a little bit. I think that's just a really, really nice detail. This feels solid. It feels like this thing is indestructible. You got your Deutsch connector right here and the other Deutsch connector there, but I don't think I'm even gonna need this because I have some wiring harnesses that I'm gonna be using. And then inside here, you have your hardware. So what they give you in here are the bolts that you use to hold this down onto a vehicle. So you get that one bolt right there, and then you get this long bolt over here because you have to put their bracket onto here. So I was looking at this earlier and it's pretty simple. It just kind of goes like right in here. You'll see like a space for it. Let me just get that in there. And then you put this through this little hole there, and then that'll allow you to kind of cinch this down. So there you go. It basically goes like that. I think it would have just been nice if this was already pre-installed so you don't have to try to sit there and figure it out. But I think they did that so that you can mount this first to wherever you're mounting it onto, and then put the light on and then slip this in. That way, yeah, that actually makes sense. Let me take this back. Okay, so the reason why they're not together is so that you can mount this wherever you need. Once you have it locked into place, then you come in, drop this in there, and then from the side you come in and put this on. Okay, there I was making a complaint, thinking that, oh, why didn't you just take the extra step to put it together for us? There's a purpose to everything they do. That way, you're not having to mount this and then trying to get a wrench in there to tighten this thing down. And we know we have done that a ton with some other lights, right? Like where you have to maneuver the light just to be able to tighten it down. And Lightforce said, well, why are we gonna do that? Let's make it easy. But you do have to put in one of these bolts and drop it into here. So let me show you that too. Put this in, get that in there, and then you'll be able to take your Allen head and it's already kind of locked in. You see that? So take that in, tighten it, and then you are good to go. Okay, the Lightforce ROK20 compact adaptable LED work light. That is how they are marketing and calling this thing. Work light. 20-watt LED each, or 1700 lumens raw for high performance, 50,000 plus hour LED lifespan for long-lasting quality, 5000K color temp for improved clarity, so same as the ROK20's, IP69K rated to protect against moisture and ingress, same as the ROK20's, hard-wearing high-pressure cast aluminum body, scratch and impact-resistant polycarbonate lens, over, under, and reverse voltage protection, 1 amp at 13.2 volts or 20 watts, 2 times 10 watt LEDs. Lightweight, they're 9.7 ounces or 274 grams, so super light, but man, this thing feels robust. Input voltage range is 9 to 36 volt DC, and the operating temperature is -40 degrees Celsius to 63 degrees Celsius, or -40 degrees Fahrenheit to 145 degrees Fahrenheit, same as the ROK20's as well, and Deutsch style waterproof connectors. So basically, same kind of setup as the ROK20, it's just that these are 20 watt LEDs versus the 40 watts that you get with the ROK20's. That's pretty much all you need to know about these. I'm ready to put these on and show you how they're going to be installed. So let's go do that. Alright, so here are the two wiring harnesses that I got from Lightforce, and what I like about their wiring harnesses is that they already have it split going into a pair of lights. So instead of you buying two lights and having to splice them together, they've already done that work for you. You just need to plug and play. We have two harnesses because we have 4 lights. So these two will go to one side of the Jeep, and then these two will go to the other side of the Jeep for the other 2 lights. We're not going to need all of this either, because this has a relay, has a switch, has a fuse. We don't need any of that because, again, we have a switch pod system in the Jeep, and all we need to do is plug in the positive and negative wires from these things into that switch pod and we're already hooked up. I could sit there and redo all this wiring, but I want to try to make it as easy as possible, because remember, we already have wiring in the Jeep that went to the Baja design lights that I just took off. No need for me to rewire that, because that's already going from the switch pod into the Jeep cabin and then up to the roof through a cable gland to keep water from, going into the Jeep, and then it goes to the roof. So there's no need for me to redo all that's already there. The only difference with that wiring harness is that the connectors for those don't match the connectors for these, so we have to cut that off. And it only goes to 2 lights, one on one side and one on the other side, because we only had 2 Baja design lights. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut off those connectors from there, and then take the part of this where it comes together and then attach one to one side, right side, then attach the other one to the left side. So now I'm basically gonna have one wire going from the switch pod through the engine bay, through the Jeep, up to the roof, which is all there now, splits into 2, and then from there it splits into 2 again for these, and that is how this whole thing is gonna be wired up. Hopefully that made a little bit more sense. I'm hoping that you really kind of know your wiring so that I don't have to explain too much. You know what I mean? Here are the ends that plug into these things. So that's that. If you follow it, it comes together somewhere over here. It splits from the 2 lights into this one, and if we follow that, that goes to the relay, and then from the relay it goes to, one goes to the positive and negative of your battery, and then the other one goes to a switch that you mount inside the vehicle. So we don't need anything from the relay all the way down to here, so we're gonna cut that along here somewhere. Now I can cut it right here, but then we're just going to be having a lot of slack, and we don't need this much slack because, again, we have wiring on the Jeep already. So I'm going to try to come as close to where this thing comes together, and maybe right around here, to give myself enough space to splice into the existing wire. Now the rest of this I'm not going to throw away. I'm going to keep it for another application at some point. And so from here we have this, and all we got to do is kind of expose the wires. I'm just going to cut just the sleeve, not the actual wire itself. Peel it back a little bit to expose the positive and negative wires, and then cut off the excess sleeve. Then I'll just put some electrical tape around that to make it nice and neat. Alright, so that's it. See how nice and clean that is? This is the positive and negative. This will get spliced into the one wire going to one side of the Baja Design lights that was there before. That's going to get spliced into that, and then from there it'll split into the two, and then from there that's where we will plug in our ROK20s, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There's our two harnesses. Let's splice this into the existing wiring, plug up the lights, see if they work, and then once that works, then we can mount the lights and we're done. Don't even lie, you know it looks pretty badass. And I don't know if you noticed, but I no longer have an awning on my roof rack. Yeah, I took the awning down. To be honest, I haven't been happy with that awning ever since I got it, but that's for a different video, different time. When I get a new awning, I will give you guys the update of why I decided to take this one down. But removing that awning has now allowed me to put two ROK20s on each side of the roof rack without anything obstructing the light. I will show you guys how it looks like. But just know that I am not going to compare it to the Baja Design lights that I had before for many different reasons, because it would be unfair. Before, I had one Baja Design S2 lights on each side. Well, now I have two lights on each side. So of course that would be unfair. Plus, the Baja Designs, that was amber and this is just plain white. But yeah, let me show you how the lights look like. I don't know, man. I am totally happy with them and I am so glad to have 4 lights now on my roof rack. It just really lights up the place so nicely. And again, with the way Lightforce has their color chemistry, it's not this obscenely white light. It's very comforting to the eyes, and it's hard to show that in video, but truly, if you were to turn on these Lightforce lights and see them in person, you'll see that they're not so blinding and they're actually really comfortable to the eyes. I'm hoping that Lightforce does come out with an amber work light as well, like a ROK20. That way I can also have ambers coming out to the side, because sometimes we use those side lights a lot at camp, and what I don't want is to be attracting a whole lot of bugs and mosquitoes with white light. But anyway, that's it. There's not really a lot more I can say about some work lights on my roof rack. Besides, we still have one more video to go to finish this complete transformation to Lightforce, and in this third video we're going to be installing the ROK9s, and I'm really excited to put those on as well. Once I finish that video, then I'll give you guys my full review, my thoughts and everything on this whole Lightforce conversion thing. As of right now, I am just ecstatic about all these lights that I've been putting on there because it's looking really, really good and very uniform. It's all coming from one brand. I got my HTX2s, now I got my ROK40 pods, now I got the ROK20 roof lights, and then now I'm going to be putting the ROK9s as my rock lights. So everything's going to have that same kind of color temperature. I think it's going to look really, really awesome when it's done. If you did like this video, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and also consider supporting us on Patreon so we can continue to make more content like this. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Baptism Overland. My name is Asia Sampson, and I will see you next time. Ugh, my God, I am sweating. I wonder if they could see my sweat on camera. Jeez. Whew.